All right, folks, is heated clothing worth the money? We're going to talk about it for a minute. Let me start by saying none of the stuff that I'm talking about is a paid endorsement for any of these brands. I've worked with some of these brands before in the past, but sadly, most of them, when they send you stuff, they want something turned really quickly. And all you really get a chance to do is kind of get a cursory glance at what the garment is like, what the boots are like, what the gloves are like. And you don't really have any time to, well, put some research into it and some true testing of the product. So now that some of these things I've worn for at least a year, some of them several years, I can give you some good insight on what's the deal with them. I do want to thank my buddy Daniel, who got me this jacket to wear. Are going to be wearing it at the Ice Bowl coming up in January. I thought he got it for me because he loved me, but I think he really got it for me because he wanted me to test it out to make sure it was going to keep his wife warm when she wore it, because he doesn't want her cold. He loves her more than me, obviously. But anyway, thanks, Daniel, for getting this thing out to me to test out, and these pants. So I'm going to give you a little 411 on what I figured out so far with these garments. Another one I'm going to talk about is something that I've had for a while. I'll grab it right here, and that is these gloves from 37. You may have remembered me doing a video about these things several years ago. Still got them, use them daily. I don't use them with the heating element though. I actually use them for running up and down the lake in cold weather. I had some of the old Bass Pro Shop 100-mile-an-hour Gore-Tex gloves. Liked them. They worked good until all the inside lining on this came off, and then it was just down to the bare material. I think one of them may have actually blown out of the boat, so I was left with just one. So anyway, I went to these. They got a little trigger finger where you can get your finger out. And, you know, if you're casting, texting, that's usually what I'm doing. So they were good. I still use them. Well built, actually. And like I said, I don't run them. They come with the battery compartment. I could still put the batteries in here. There's the hookup for it. But I just wear them as regular gloves. The trick is with gloves is that they're great to like turn the batteries on, get them warm, put it on setting 1. That's my tip. That's really my tip for any of these garments. But you can put that in there on setting number 1, and you get out here, you fiddle with stuff, you fiddle with bait, you cast, you go stick your hands back in them, they're nice and warm. So that's how I like them. My advice is to buy mittens. I've told all these companies, send me mittens, but they're adamant about doing the glove thing. I think mittens are better for keeping your hands warm in cold weather. So that's my other tidbit of information. But the company makes this jacket, iHood. They also makes gloves. I've done some stuff with them about the same. There's actually a really nice, they come up a little higher on the arm. You got a little cover. If you're riding snowmobiles or doing anything in the snow, I think it would be nice for that. I don't know that these gloves are considered waterproof. I think they're very water resistant. They're not like Gore-Tex materials though, but it's a nice tight weave. It definitely keeps the wind out. Got a little bit of padding and protection there on that side. And again, use the settings on them, go to 1 with them. Now this jacket, this is one that Daniel gave me to try out, is it's a lot longer than another one that I tried out. The other one they gave to me came to about the waist, and it worked. It kept you warm, kept the wind off of you, but I don't know, it felt like your butt was sticking out in the back. This one actually has a little zippered flap on the back that hangs down to give you something to sit on. Comes in really handy if it's wet. So, you know, a good feature there. Again, this is made by iHood. It's got a ton of zippers, a ton of zipper compartments all over it. It's got these up here that you can easily put your hands into to keep your hands warm. If you put hand warmers in there, zipper pockets down here. It's well built. I'm pretty impressed with it. The one thing I wished it had was a zipper so that when you zip it up, you have a zipper at the bottom that will zip back up this way to widen it out. That helps when you're sitting down. If you're wearing something that's a little more form-fitting, it's nice to have a little more room around the waist. I wish they did that. They're pretty well-designed zippers. They look like they're waterproof zippers. That was pretty impressive. Got them on both arms. So pretty good jacket. Comes with a hood, fleece line. Nice thing, fleece lined around the neck. I like that. You get this thing zipped up to keep your neck warm. So pretty good build quality on it. Again, it uses a big battery. I'll show you here. I'm actually using the battery off of it to charge my phone. It's got the connections on it for a lot of the modern USB connectors, so it charges your phone if nothing else. The good thing is a lot of these batteries are interchangeable from some of these different products, so that's kind of a cool little feature there with some of them. So again, I've worn this thing just once or twice, and it hasn't been really cold enough. It's in the 40s right now. It's not windy. The sun's out. It's not freezing cold. Just in that level, it is enough. And all I've got on is a fleece base layer, nothing else, no hoodie, nothing else underneath this. So pretty warm jacket, even without the batteries running. The pants are pretty interesting. It's the first time I've worn any heated pants. And they come with some reinforced knees and a different kind of little tready material on them, which I like because it actually hides some of the dirt. If you're like me, wallowing around on your knees, it's nice to have that kind of, just to make you look like a little less of a slob. They're fleece lined, just like the fleece lined Wrangler pants I normally wear, the El Cheapo cargo pants from Walmart. These just have a windproof shell. These are a lot more wind resistant. And they have a couple of compartments. Actually, the biggest compartment is the one for the battery. I wish they had a bigger cargo compartment on the other leg. The other leg has a small one, but I mean, you can barely put anything into that, maybe a set of keys. I wish they had a bigger cargo compartment on that leg. The upper pockets that you normally put your hands and keys into is zippered. I'm not a big fan of having that outer zipper because when you're putting your bare hands into it, it kind of eats into it, but that's a first world problem, I guess. It's nice to have a zipper compartment on a boat because it keeps cell phones and everything else. And these are more than big enough to put a cell phone or something into. So, plenty long enough. They are cut small. I will tell you that. When he handed it to me, these things are like a XX. I'm a little smaller now. I said, dude, these are gonna be really big. He said, no. He said, these things are cut very small. So a lot of the Chinese stuff is like that. That's where all this stuff comes from. It's from China. So no surprise there. The jacket, I'm about 215, 218 pounds. This jacket is an XL, and I've got a lot of room in it. So could probably go with a large if I wanted something more form-fitting, but you know, I'm gonna wear this thing probably on some extremely cold days, have a hoodie or something underneath it. So again, you know, it's gonna come down to, we're gonna get to the boots in a second. I'll tell you about those. But as far as the heated stuff goes, you know, it depends on your level of cold. You know, for me, I don't know. I'm gonna have to get out here in some really single digit, teener digit kind of stuff and put it to the test. Then I tried it a few times with the gloves and stuff. It's nice to have them. The jacket I haven't really cranked up yet but you know, different people are, you know, nature different and just how much they can tolerate the cold. So I do have these boots from Hisea. I've worn these things since last year. Again, this is a product they sent to me halfway through the winter. I barely got to wear it, barely got to get a good test and breaking them in. With that said, since then, I've wore them during deer season a lot, and they've become the go-to muck boot around the house. And coincidentally, they're built very similar to a muck style boot. I've had muck boots before, lasted a pretty good while. The bottoms start to separate from them and you end up having to trash them. So we'll see how long these things last. Again, this will be the second season of using them. Again, all products, I'll put you a link to this stuff in the description if you're interested. There's no real promo codes or anything because this is not a you know, an endorsed deal doing this. It's just my feedback after using this stuff for a good long while now. And you know, do you have to have it? No. Is it a luxury to have? Yeah, it's a luxury to have. It's a bonus. But you know, if you're very just cold natured, you're probably gonna love it. You'll probably really enjoy it then. So the pants I like. I'm out here today, like I said, this is just kind of normal fishing. It's cold, but it's not bitterly cold. And I'm using everything without any of the battery powered. By the way, the pants, while cut size small, they are very comfortable. The knees, the way the stitching is on the knees, you got a lot of bend room. If you get them one size big, you're gonna have plenty of room. You'll have plenty of room to put on a pair of long johns and possibly a pair of pants underneath them. So, but I'm just wearing on just these, and they're working out pretty cool. We'll see how they hold up, see how they last, see how they do here through the winter. And you know, again, put this stuff to the test. If you can afford it, you've got the income and you're cold natured to do it, get it, you know, by all means. I think you'll like it. I don't think anybody's going to throw it away once they have it, but you can still function if you don't have it. So that's kind of my take on it. You'll see me out in it. If you got any questions, shoot me a message about it. Again, go with the lower power settings. That's kind of my little pointer on all that. These things usually have 3 power settings. I always go on about 1, just so you have enough heat to keep you comfortable, but you're not burning through the batteries. If you really, really want it warm and you really, really want a heated jacket, order you an extra set of batteries, and it'll make life a lot easier. We'll catch you guys out on the water.